right, people, this is Dear Baddies with Nicole and Cindy, boyfriend, bitches, and everything in between. And now I'm going to have Nicole. Go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Fagan, Nicole AF, as some of you know me on Facebook. And I am so excited about this podcast. And Cindy, I'm so excited to do this with you. You are amazing. So I'm ready to dig in and get started. So first topic of conversation this episode is called Girl, Why? So why did we create this? Why are we calling you baddies? Because you are all badass bitches. So let's just get right down to it. Story time. We have
Story time.
Group. Story time. So I'm sure a lot of you know myself from the Facebook group, Are We Sharing Boyfriends? So if we want to if we want to rewind a year, I started this Facebook group called Are We Sharing Boyfriends? And it came because me, 3 other girls all dated the exact same guy. And I'm sure that you're wondering, how did you not know? Well, we didn't know. He was really, really good. He was really fucking good. So he was dating me. He said, let me go take my mom to her chemo treatments when he was really going to someone else's house. So this dumbass decided to play 4 of us really. So we found out, we all dumped him and moved on with our lives. But I think that was more of like the icing on the cake instead of, here's a bad guy, like, let me talk shit about him. No, this was the icing on the cake. So hence the Are We Sharing Boyfriends? So I feel like it's more of like a Yelp review for men in Atlanta, because as we all know, dating in Atlanta is a crapshoot, to say the very least. Wouldn't you agree?
I can say I just started the dating scene, and I'm going to let you finish your story and then I'm going to go with mine.
Yeah, for sure. So back to the Facebook group. So I never saw it blowing up to, I think we've got around 5,000 girls in the group now. And the premise is, let's post a picture of said man that, maybe they're about to go on a date with, they met him on a dating app, or watch out for this guy because he is a piece of trash. So, we obviously have to moderate and make sure that, we're not using any personal identifying information, any PII or anything like that. But, it's become this kind of like, I don't know, movement, to say the least. I've made a ton of girlfriends, and Cindy, I'm sure that you've met some girls out of the group too and invited some of your friends to be in there. And it's just, we've all just become badass bitches, so hence the name baddies. So if I ever address anybody in the group, it's, hey baddies, and I always put like a queen emoji and a heart just to let you know, like, you're a badass, and whatever you're going through during the day, you can tackle this. You've got this, and we're going to move on. So
I completely agree with you. And that's the thing. It's just like, this group has been very empowering. At the same time, being aware of what are you actually dating. And it's hilarious. I mean, when you go into these profiles, it's just like, seriously, this is the type of line that they're using. Yeah. Wait, he says he's single, but what?
Is he?
No way. I mean, is this really a profile? I mean,
yeah.
And I'm not saying this is only men. I mean, and I can tell you this is also women. So we want to actually get it into gender neutral, just because we're not only women are being affected, but men are also being affected on this.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, there's that line of communication, like it takes 2 to tango. So it's not just men, it's women too. And I think, especially like with this podcast, I think, this is going to be like our platform to really, I guess, emphasize that point and, bring that back home and focus on ourselves and what we can do better and, what we can change and, love ourselves at the end of the day, because we are the prize.
But not only that, keep in mind that you don't have to be in a relationship to be happy,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this podcast is going to be teaching you on what are the things you should actually focus as a person. Okay, you're going through a heartbreak. And what can I do? Oh my gosh, what? This person's asking me for space. But what does that really mean?
Exactly.
I mean, It's just like,
Exactly.
should I just keep on going on dates, or how do you even date in the 2022s? I mean, it's either swipe left or swipe right. Like I went out with a guy and he's like, I'm like, so what caught your attention? Oh, I just swiped.
Yeah. I
So
mean, it does seem like it's almost like it's like a competition, like who looks the best. But it's not, looks are going to fade, but that personality is still going to be there. I mean, we're growing and changing and evolving, and, weight can be gained or weight can be lost. So, I mean, I think that's probably a good topic of conversation in the future for future episodes. So, but I would love to hear your story as to why you wanted to do this podcast.
So I'm an author. I'm a motivator. I inspire people, and so I wrote a book about inspiring people and motivating and keeping moving forward. So the reason I wanted to do this podcast is because I noticed that a lot of women and a lot of men fall for the same trap. And I'm like, how do we actually get the word out there? How can we actually help other people, empower them? I've been single for 4 years. I mean, I've been separated for over 4 years, divorced 2 years, single 2 years. And I started, I never dated in the state of Georgia just because, I work, I'm a single mom, and I'm like, you know what? Why would I date? Let me just start exploring. And I met Mr. Bacon Bacon. So
I love the name.
Bacon, let's put it that way. And I started talking to him. He seemed like a great guy. March, he's in the Guard and all that. And, he's like, oh no, you know what? We're just talking, him and I. And I'm like, where's this going? He kept on saying, just me. I'm just focused on myself. Happens to be that a few days ago, he's like, oh no, I just want space. I'm like, why does he want space? I mean, there's nothing wrong. I mean, anyways, happens to be that Mr. Bacon is actually seeing some other girl, and not only one, two other girls. And I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh. And you had the exclusive, we're exclusive, we're not seeing other people conversation?
Yes, we did. And I didn't understand why. I mean, and he's like, I just needed space because he had a crazy ex-girlfriend. And I'm like, interesting. And I fell for that because he said he read the Bible and he's a really good guy. Don't ever fall for that, ladies or guys. Don't. And I'm into extreme sports, so I started focusing more on myself. I fly planes, I jump out of planes, I travel a lot, and I was like, okay, interesting. And all of a sudden, he texted me last week, and he's like, well, I'm going back to work and all that, and I'm like, what do you want? I mean, do you want more space? Do you need more time? Or what are we gonna do? He's like, I need more space, give me a few more weeks. Happens to be that he's actually seeing this girl from Columbus, Georgia. And I'm like, what in the world? And I'm like, you know what? And this has taught me you know what? There's signs, there's red flags completely. And I know we have an episode that's going to come into that. If a guy gives you excuses, walk away. If a guy tells you, you know what? I'm in between, walk away. If a guy tells you just me, walk away. If a guy gives you so many excuses, walk away. If a guy tells you, I want to be with you, I want to see you, you stay. Give him that chance. If that guy makes the extra effort and contacts you and is following up with you, consistency is so important. And that is why I am here with Nicole today. I want to help you guys continue moving forward, not staying stuck. I mean, it's about how to get out of toxic relationships. Look, we're going to be talking about everything. And not only that, we're going to be bringing guys in, coaches, everything. And I want you guys to enjoy this. We want you guys to learn from us. We want to learn from you. This is why we have our email address there too. So this morning I texted you, right, Nicole, about this guy. And I'm going to read the text message. Oh my gosh,
please do, because this just further cements that it is not just women. Women, I mean, of course, I'm a woman, I'm biased, right? So I'm gonna assume, that it only happens to us. but that's just not true. You know, it happens to the men too. And it's sad, but yeah, please read the text. Yeah.
Okay. So this is like my friend. He's 24 years old. Yes, I have younger friends than me, by the way. I have
Cougar.
30-year-old. Hey, you never know. Okay. So this is from my friend. He texted me this morning. He's like, I'm sorry it took me, this is from from this girl that he's been like in love with and is so and he's so sweet and it's always giving. I'm sorry it took me all day to respond, but I had to truly take the time to soak that in, laughing out loud. I appreciate you being open with me and making things clear. Like I told you a little bit ago, I'm not ready for anything just yet. And I know you understand that, but believe the day I feel like I am ready again. I'll have you in mind. At the moment, I just need space and time to myself.
You know what I hear in that? I'm hearing bullshit.
And time to myself, and I need to enjoy that. I, however, do enjoy the time we spend together as well, and also have that in mind.
That poor guy. Like, I'm sure he's sitting there thinking, like, what did I do? You know? And we would be doing the exact same thing. What did I do to make them not want to hang out with me?
That's the thing. When people need space, it's just like, that is a red flag. This is all completely bullshit. Bullshit. Because it's just like, time for myself. Okay, so if you really want to be with me, I don't want time away from you. Even if I'm upset with you, and no, you guys want to grow, you guys communicate. That is how a relationship works. You know what? Sometimes you need to let them walk away and then come back and cool down. And this, I think I told Nicole this. I mean, like, I always looked at long distance relationships because it gave them time to cool down, and we didn't have to be on top of each other or anything. And me experimenting and dating in state is something new. But what my friend experienced, he's like, it sounds familiar because it's the same bullshit that this bacon guy gave me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I told him, block, delete, and move on. That's what I told him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's not going to come back. She's not going to, maybe in a year when she wants attention, she'll come back and say, hey, do you want to hang out? I need attention. And then, you know, of course he'll start the same old rigmarole that he used to. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I've sent a text like that before, and I honestly regret it because now being in my mid 30s, I wish that I had been more transparent. I wish I had had the maturity to know, like, this is not appropriate. This is what I should and shouldn't say.
And I totally agree with you. And this is, like I said, this is basically, how can we help you guys? It's not about all the feeding bullshit that we get all the time, or I need space, or I need time to get over things. Look, if you're broken, you can't fix broken. Move on. That's one of the things. Other things is just like, hey, when they disappear for hours or they don't contact you. And another one is Snapchat. I remember Bacon loves Snapchat, and he didn't wanted to go through WhatsApp, and now I understand because he didn't want me to keep the conversations.
Exactly.
I personally use WhatsApp for my family because I have family all over and I have friends all over the place.
Right. That makes sense.
But there's so many things that I have learned as an adult because, okay, I am 37 years old, but I started dating now because I never dated as an adult. And you'd be like, what? Yes, because when I started dating, when I was in college, I met my first husband in college, and him and I were in ROTC. Then I met my ex-husband, my second ex-husband. I met him. I was his boss. And, you know, that was easy for me because it was organically.
And I think that's how it should be. It should be organic. And I feel like a lot of times with these dating apps, it's very forced, you know? So, but like I said earlier, it's kind of, you know, it's a competition. Like, who's the prettiest? Like, let me see who who is the most pretty, or I said that completely wrong. Who is the prettiest girl that I can go on a date with and potentially have my dick suck? You know, I don't know. I don't know if dating apps work, to be quite honest with you. And I think I'm looking forward to like the dating coaches that we're going to have on the show, because I have a lot of questions for them. A lot.
I have like, in my case, I think that dating apps is just like, you shouldn't get on a dating app as just like, oh, I'm going to date this person. I'm going to date this person. No, you should get on a dating app on building relationships, because you can't be focused on, and this is like, I was talking to this guy and we'll have him on the show. He's like, he's impatient. He wants someone. And I told him, look, you got to be patient, because that right person is going to come at the right time. We have to go through circumstances and things in life to make us a better person. And sometimes, you know what? I had an older couple, and they were one of my clients. And after 45 years, they were high school sweethearts. And after 45 years, they reunited and they got married.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it's just like J-Lo. Think about it.
Oh yeah, J-Lo, Ben Affleck, yeah.
It took them 20 years to come back together.
Yeah. Yeah, my grandparents were like that too. They were high school sweethearts. He went off to World War II. I think she had 4 kids. He had 2. And then they both were divorced, got back together, had my dad, and then my dad had me. So and I mean, they loved each other. Like, I want a love like that, you know, cause that was so pure. And I mean, you could just feel the love, like when you walked into their house. It was amazing.
And that's what I want too, because it's just like nowadays is till death do us apart or till the divorce do us apart. Which one is it?
Yeah, but you know what? Because I've had a lot of guys in the past from dating apps particularly say, you know, I don't want to date anyone that's been married. I don't want to date anyone that has children. But you know what? We're mid-30s. So once you cross that 30 threshold, you know, you're going to have to date someone that has potentially had a marriage or potentially has kids. There's not a lot of single kidless people out there, but I don't think that makes us damaged goods or anything, because I know you and I both have been through a divorce. I think it's more of, we recognized that we were not happy and we got the fuck out because we knew that we deserved to be happy.
And I totally agree with you, because let's say, for instance, I remember when I was little, and I know this is throwing my mom under the bus, and my mom would always tell me,
"Don't send her the podcast, you'll be fine."
I won't, maybe. And my mom would say, never get divorced, never get divorced, never get divorced. And I'm like, and she would say, hey, you know what? Because my aunt got divorced 3 times. And I'm like, do you want to be unhappy for the rest of your life, or do you want to freaking get the balls and grow balls and move on? Because you know what, regardless of what situation you're in, if you're not happy, you have to make yourself happy. You are first, then is the rest. And for that, you got to follow up. And if you're not happy, why stay with one person? Why stay with that person? And I'm not saying stay with one person, meaning date other people, lots of people, or, you know, sleep with other people. No. I'm saying, why are you in that marriage? Why are you in that relationship? And sometimes we don't see these red flags. It's just like my first ex-husband. I didn't want to get married. And I married him because I didn't want to lose his friendship. I made the mistake, but it made me a better person. If I would have not met him and moved to North Dakota, then I would have not, you know, met my ex-husband and have my kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. I think I've been through a lot of therapy with my ex-husband, because I got married so young. I got married at 22, and then we were married for about 11 years, but I had lost my dad to a heart attack about a year before. So the therapy that I received and, you know, the different people that I saw are correlating me marrying an older man, he was 12 years older, to me losing my father at such a young age. I was 20 when he died. So, you know, I was trying to like substitute an older man in that position. So if I could go back and redo it, I 100% would. But then again, I don't know if I would. I wouldn't have my daughter, you know? So it's a struggle. But at the same time, like, I wasn't happy. I got out, found my self-worth, found my passions. And I can't wait to tell you guys more about like my story. And I've only been in the dating world again for, I guess, 3 years. So it's been a roller coaster for sure, to say the bare minimum.
I'm not looking forward to it. I've been in the dating world 2 weeks, I guess. I mean, I'm on and off dating apps, and I'm like, this is just, I mean, do I even want to go through this? Because, I mean, it's just like, you talk to a guy, they're consistent. I mean, do I really want to go on? And then the nerve-wracking part is meeting them in person.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, do I really want to meet this person? Or do I just treat it as a business transaction? And me as a realtor, I treat everything as a business transaction. And it's just like, okay, so he hasn't called me in 24 to 48 hours. That means he's not interested in moving forward. Yeah. Or he's being he's busy with life and all that. Or what is it? Or I have guys that are texting me that are needy. Oh, you haven't texted me today. You forgot about me?
Yeah.
What about me? I have a life too.
Exactly. I know there needs to be some sort of happy median. And I feel like, once we talk to like the dating coaches and all the people that we have lined up, I feel like by at least by the 6th episode, we should have a really good grasp on, what I would hope so. I would hope so.
I mean, there is so much to learn though, because I also I went through a lot of therapy. Look, I went through a psychologist, psychiatrist, counselor. I mean, I even went through hypnotherapy, but that's a totally different subject and conversation completely, and spiritual retreats too. But it's about, how was your childhood? When you go on dates, how was your childhood? Did they have any type of abusive household? Were they, what happened during that time? Because whatever happened during their childhood is going to affect their relationship.
Oh, of course. Mm-hmm. Yep.
How do they treat their mom, their siblings? Are they close to their family or not?
Do they have friends? How big is their friend circle? Are they going on bachelor trips every other weekend? Like those things I think are super important, but it's also a red flag, if they don't have any friends, but it's a red flag for females too. Do you not have any male friends? Do you not have any female friends? I always think it's even when I'm looking for friends or friendships with other females, do you have a lot of girlfriends? Are most of your friends guys? Are you trying to get attention from them? It's because I've had to, kind of, I guess I don't want to say pump up, but like I've had to find new friends just through, marriage, giving birth, getting divorced. So like all those friends change. And that's something I look for, like in friendships. Like, is this person a genuine person? Cause I'm sure you're the same way. I can't have fake friendships. If it's just surface level, it doesn't, what do you bring into the table, I guess? But I'd like to have like deeper conversations than just like, oh my God, this person is so cute, so.
I totally agree with you with that too. I mean, you got to look at, okay, so even with friendship, with anything is, are we compatible? Like Nicole and I, we talked, over an hour, and we're like, okay, we need to go, we do have to do so. So, yeah. I mean, and we hit it off the bat, but are you doing the same thing with relationships? When people that you meet, are they meeting all your expectations? Are they, what are their ambitions? What are their goals? Like Bacon Macon, he didn't have ambition. All he wanted to do was his goal was to pay off his house. I mean, and nothing wrong with that, but then again,
that's a great goal.
Yes, but then again, it's just like, you're paying off your house, but instead of doing that, why don't you go ahead and buy different properties to grow your wealth? No, I don't do that because I just get what I can actually afford. Now that is a poor mindset, and I can completely talk about different things. Does not align with me. And I'm glad that Bacon Macon didn't work with me, because he was not for me.
If you think back on the entire relationship that you had with Macon Bacon, what do you think your very first red flag was when you started talking to him? Was it Snapchat? What do you think it was?
Snapchat.
Yeah.
Snapchat. Because it was like, I mean, yes, he would answer super fast all the time. We talked for almost 5 months, every single day, all day long.
Yeah.
And he would send me snaps. He would, talk to me, all this. And then you don't want to meet me? What's going on? Why couldn't you be forward with me? Or didn't you have enough balls? But I think it was the whole aspect that happened was when we met in person, and I had asked them like, hey, you know what? How much do you make? Because he was actually driving me a little bit nuts with, oh, that's too expensive. Like, we're talking about protein bars that are like 12 for $30, like the best protein bars. And he's like, he told me the amount, and we're sitting down at this restaurant, and he was like, he asked me, and then that was like, that's what actually turned him like away completely.
You got the ick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that. I know once you get the ick, you never come back from that. I mean, it could be like the smallest little thing. I think that would probably turn anybody off. Like, I wouldn't want to tell anyone how much money I made. That's not anybody's business. You know, that's my business. But was there anything else that you saw that was a pretty big red flag?
I would say that, he wanted to stay in the same place. He wanted to stay in Macon, close to his family. And don't get me wrong, that's a great idea. But someone that wants to evolve, wants to move up, and then like not having goals. That was my first one, that not having goals.
Yeah.
Like, how do you have a list for your future wife? What are you looking at a person? Just a wife. Okay, so what else are you looking for? And I'm very goal oriented. When I'm telling you I do something, well, yeah, I will do it. I mean, I don't mess around. And that was one of them. The other one was like ambition. Like, what do you want in life? He's like, I just want to retire. But that's like 30 years.
That's a long ways away. What are you going to do in the interim?
And me, and personally, I'm like, I'm retiring in 5 years. I'm like, see ya. Do you like to travel? Yeah, I'm not a big traveler. That's another one. It's like, like looking into the situation. And I tell you guys, all of you guys, when you guys are meeting someone, make sure that you're not settling down, that everything aligns with you. Like, I work out all the time. I eat very, very healthy. He eats whatever. I have to take care of my health completely.
Of course.
And it's just like, do you eat? Do you cook? What do you like? And there's so many things that we were not compatible at all. So it's just like, you know, I love to travel. I mean, yes, I have 2 little kids, but I'm here one moment and then I'm over there. You know, it doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah.
But now looking and thinking about it, really, he was not for me.
No. When do you think you really figured that out? Like, you said that like your goals didn't align. So when did it kind of like click that maybe he just wasn't the right one?
I think it was like the second or third week, because I asked questions like that super fast, and I kept on telling him like I wasn't like interested, but I think it was like his consistency and him like continuously like being insistent and persistent with me. That's what it caught me completely, just because I wasn't looking for anything, honestly. I usually get on dating apps and I just like 1 or 2 days and I'm out. This has been the longest time that I've been on a dating app. And well, I paid the premium on that, but that's why. And yeah, I know that's another one. And this is the thing. It's just like, he wasn't for me at all, because I want someone that is going to be able to plan the future with me. If you don't have any plans with me, you can't plan the next weekend or the next few days, then what are we talking about? Oh, I have to check. I just want to get home. Okay. But if you want to get home, and that didn't like I put 2 and 2 together, but I was like too blind and too,
like caught up in the moment, maybe.
Yes. Caught up in the moment and like, no, I'm just making things up. I'm just like, no. And there's like the signs were there and I didn't see it.
Do you think that with this guy, maybe, and I'm just grasping at straws here, but do you think maybe, are you in love with being in love? Is that a possibility?
I'm very hard to fall in love with. There has to be the connection. If there's not
Yeah.
connection, I'm not going to give you a time of day at all.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I have to have that initial connection. But I have one story for you. So last year I went out with this guy, could not remember his name to save my life, but, it's a J name and we all know about J names. So, I would normally FaceTime, and I don't like to give out my phone number. So it would be over like WhatsApp or, Snapchat video, something like that. Cause I don't like to give out my number until I've actually met them in person. But, we FaceTimed, or I guess I should say video chat, not FaceTime. And then we met up. Everything was great on the video chat. Everything was great when we were, at the restaurant. We just, had a couple of beers and like some wings or something, and conversation flowed. It was great. And then as soon as we walked out to my car is when he got really, really, really creepy. And I kept thinking like, okay, where did this go wrong? It was all the sexual talk. It was like, let me shove my tongue down your throat kind of thing. And I just could not for the life of me think, where did I go wrong? But I think where I went wrong, and this is probably, at least over a year ago, maybe last summer or something, but I think where I went wrong was I think I gave too much information ahead of time, and that maybe made him feel a lot more comfortable with me than he should have. So it's definitely a learning experience. But I think also at that time, I really wanted it to work. And I'm not sure that I wanted it to work with him specifically. I just wanted it to work because I was tired of being on dating apps. I was tired of getting the runaround, and I've learned my lesson for sure on that one. But I totally understand where you're coming from, not seeing the red flags. And I know that there were a lot of red flags with that guy. He was very persistent, very like, I guess needy in a sense, like, why are we not talking? Why are you sleeping? Like, you're not talking to me, you're sleeping. It was a little strange. So yeah, hindsight is always 20/20 for sure.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, sometimes it's just like, I've been single for some time, and it's just like, I honestly, that's one of the reasons, like, so I send my kids with my parents for the whole summer, right? And that's May, June, July, first week of August. And what I do is I travel. I spend time with my family. I do things that I really want to do. And as a mom, you need that me time, especially being a full-time single mom. Yeah. And it's just like, during that time, I didn't date anybody. I was on my own. I mean, I hanged out with friends. I jump out of planes. I flew planes. I mean, I traveled with my family, with my brothers. I mean, I was me. And sometimes in order for us not to feel lonely, we have to do things that we can actually fill our social calendar, meaning like, what are you doing? Hey, Nicole, what are you doing this weekend? Or, hey, and it's always good to have friends. And even like a couple of weeks ago, this is after my birthday, which is July, I was like, I woke up on a Saturday morning and you're like, you know what? I feel like jumping off a plane today. And
that's amazing.
And when I got there, like, so you're here by yourself? Only me. And what I did was I talked to other people, and I made fun, I made videos, I posted about it. And you know what? Awesome. I had a blast. Even if it was with strangers, I had a blast. For my birthday, I spent it in the jungle by myself, and I met strangers too, and I spent it with strangers, which is pretty awesome. So
that is awesome.
It's going to come down to getting to know the red flags, but what do you really want? Are you really desperately looking for something that you're going to regret later on? That it's going to get you to a heartbreak? Or what really is it? What is it really?
I think you and I have been through enough of the dating apps and enough of the terrible, shitty fuckboy kind of men that I think that we do have grounds to speak on for this, but I'm really, really looking forward to our interview with a fuckboy, with our multiple interviews with the dating coaches. Like, I'm stoked for all of that, because I think you and I, even as much as we know, I think we can learn a ton.
Oh yes. And then there's one episode, and I know we haven't talked about this, but I sent it to you. Oh yeah, the recyclable dick and pussy.
Oh yeah. I love it. I love it.
So it's going to be so much fun. We're going to be talking about different things, and any suggestions and anything you guys want to know, please let us know. I was talking to my guy, to the fuck boy. We're going to be actually interviewing him tomorrow. So that episode's going to be in a couple weeks. But hey, you know what? How to actually date or how to actually look at that, type of guy that you're actually looking for, you know, or what are things that you should actually do in a dating app that you're not doing. Like, I met with him. He's a really good friend of mine. He's rehabilitated, and he's like, okay, I need to look at your Bumble. I need to look at your Hinge. You need to be in all these apps. Let me tweak all this. Okay, perfect. You know, you need to put yourself in Atlanta. You need to look in your radius in your area. Yeah. And now I'm actually learning how to do that. Are they verified or not? Or is it catfish? You know, I personally, I don't like texting, because it takes too much time and I talk too much, honestly. So I like to send videos. Like there's, I like Bumble because you can actually send a video and you know what? You can see them. They can see you. And some of these pictures are like, have you guys ever seen the Realtor pictures like from 50 years ago? Oh, yeah. And they're still using it. And then when you see them, it's like, wow. So that gives you a little bit of insight, but makes you feel more comfortable while you're actually talking to them. Do you really want to go out with them or not? If not, just unmatch because they don't have to know anything about you.
Exactly. I'm so looking forward to this. And also to piggyback right off of what you said is, you know, email us with questions. And, you know, if you want advice with the people that we're going to interview, email us questions so we can answer that and, you know, hopefully get you a good answer and one that, you know, you can actually abide by. So, but we're here to help. And I'm so stoked. Cindy, you're amazing. If I haven't said that enough to you today.
You're welcome. Like I said, this is, we're super excited about this new podcast. This is a new chapter for us. This is for fun. And like I said, we are here to support men and women in how we can help you guys. So this is Cindy Presgraves and
Nicole AF. Thank you guys so much.
With your baddies and okay, I'm learning. Dear baddies, boyfriends, bitches, and everything in between. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.